please welcome to Rod Laver Arena from the USA, Tristan Boyer. And their opponent this afternoon, please welcome from Australia, Minaur.
They will be loving him. Well, little hot shots. It's hot shots day here at Melbourne Park. I just want to get a bit of feeling of what it feels like to be a top 10 player. Give me some of that magic.
Well, I bet there were some sweaty palms there too, and what an experience for those youngsters, hot shotters.
So inspirational just being out there.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't inspire you. I tell you what, pretty hard to please.
Yeah, there are special places, these main courts at the Grand Slam events. I mean, that centre court at Wimbledon, wow, does that get set the butterflies are fluttering. And so does this one.
Hi Alex, this is Jimmy. This is Mary, Alex.
Speaking of Wimbledon, here's a great tennis family from the UK, the Keothavongs. Of course, James, one of the best umpires in the business, and his sister Anne,
Tristan, this is
a
Jimmy.
member of the All England
Tristan,
Club.
and this is Mary. This is Tristan. They're going to do the coin toss for us. Before we start, guys, can we have a photo with Jimmy and Mary facing this way, please? You want to face that way? This way. You want to stay here? Stay here, in the middle. Everyone, face the camera. Face the camera. Okay, gentlemen, the same format as your last match. We're using video review. So for touches, not ups, throughs, hindrance, let me know immediately if you'd like to challenge that. Any preference on towel box? No, Alex, we go blue. Red for you, Tristan. Okay. Do you want to turn around, Jimmy? Turn around. Any questions? So we have John Newcomb or AO. AO is called. Do you want to toss that, Jimmy? Fantastic. We have AO, Tristan. Serve. Good match, good match. Do you want to pick that up?
Oh, John Newcomb, twice a singles champion here at the Australian Open in 73 and 75. Of course, someone you know oh so well, Fitzy, a nice commemorative coin in his honour.
Yeah, well, he's a legend in these parts and around the world of tennis, and gee, what a player he was, Robbie. Three-time Wimbledon champion. Once in the amateur days, twice in the Open era. And of course, twice here. And a winner at the US as well. Big Jimmy Connors here, 1975.
Must have gone down well, yeah, very well. Speaking of Americans, Tristan Boyer has had a wonderful 24 months since turning pro in early 2023. He's rocketed up the rankings. He spent a year at college at Stanford before leaving in March of 2022. And thereafter, when he started with no ranking, he went from about 1,500 in the world to the top 200 in the 2023 season when he started out, Fitzy. And then by the end of last year, he was on the cusp of the top 120. So he's made some big moves. He's excelled at challenger level. We get into that in detail in a moment. And speaking about significant rises, Minaur booking a place in the top 10 after the United Cup last year, and what a season he had. 9 career titles. He's played well on different surfaces. He really is one of those players that can play certainly well on the hard and the grass, plays sometimes a challenge, but boy oh boy has he improved in the last 12 months, and it's not easy when you get to the summit, right?
Well, Robbie, I don't always notice the dollars, I can honestly say that, but I did notice that one. There was a disparity there, and that's one of the key indicators, meaning experience and wins, tournament wins. There is a lot of disparity in experience on this court today. Doesn't mean that we know who's going to win this, but it's a big day for Tristan. He'll have to step up This is the biggest court he's ever played on by far. It's the second time he's played a match at this level, and indeed at the ATP Tour level.
Yeah, and the first one was the first round win that he had against Correa, so plenty to look forward to. You can see De Minaur the overwhelming favourite, almost 90%. The odds setters are picking him to win. And probably a good time to go down courtside to our good friend and esteemed coach, one of the best in the business, David Taylor. Dave, first of all, a warm welcome. Nice to have you on board.
G'day, Robbie, and g'day, Fitchy.
It's apparently the coolest day, that's what I'm told, that we've had so far in the tournament. Is that the case?
Yeah, it's pretty mild conditions down here, but really good conditions for a match. And yeah, I think the reception that Alex received when he came in really lifted him. And he's a guy full of beans and always moving his feet, but had an extra spring in his step when he came in there.
Yeah, and conditions, will the conditions play a little slower given the temperature drop? What is your feeling?
Yeah, look, I think Alex, he's proved, the last 4 majors, quarters of all of those. So I think he can really play on all surfaces and all conditions. So I think either it was hot or cool, it wouldn't bother Alex at all.
Yeah, he really is one of the ultimate pros.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, Robbie, but hey, we've got a man in the chair on the court today who's been at the coalface. He knows his tennis. We've got some good information. I know we do, coming our way. Good to have you, Dave.
Oh, good. Pleasure to be here, guys.
We'll be checking in with Dave and all his pearls of wisdom as this one gets underway. And it's probably worth highlighting as well, this man who comes from California, and there's a lot been going on back home for Tristan, and we will touch on that in a moment. He's got plenty to play for as the young man. His dad is involved in tennis as well, and he consults with the USTA, so he comes from a tennis family, and of course coming from the great school that is Stanford. Like John McEnroe, spent a year there before deciding to turn pro under the tutelage of Paul Goldstein and Brandon Coop, both of who I was lucky enough to play doubles with.
He's got a strong set of quads, I can give him that. That means he's played probably a lot of matches. You would expect that he's fairly hardened, and there's some miles in those legs, so that's a good sign for a young player.
Yeah, and he'll be covering a lot of court today, given how early De Minaur takes the ball, how many returns he will put in play. The best returner of a tennis ball last season. In fact, he was almost 3 percentage points better than everybody else. And in a sport where a decimal point here or there is so important to be that far ahead of everybody else, it tells you how well he can return a serve. So we've got Australia's #1 top tenner, Alex De Minaur, against the qualifier from California in the USA, in Tristan Boyer, who said today he will be playing for Altadena at the Australian Open, an area in California that has been heavily affected by the fires that have been going on down there. We send our best wishes to his dad, who's back home watching, and his mum is here courtside. Let the games begin. Reed on the left and Davis Cup captain Leighton Hewitt on the right. And for those of you who don't know too much about Boyer, I'll try and give you a quick once-over. As far as Americans goes, he is one of those guys who actually is a bit of an outlier, loves playing on clay. It's not as, probably says it's ties with the hard court, but he's had a lot of success playing on it. And won a couple of challenges, not easy to do. Got a quick glimpse of his coach.
Can't imagine he hasn't spent a fair bit of time on the hard court though, Robbie. Growing up in Southern California, that's what they play on. He'll feel at home here too.
tell you what. Can't believe de Minaur got a racket under that.
I know Tristan won that point, Robbie, but if I was him here, my heart rate would have gone up a notch or two just seeing the speed of de Minaur get to this ball. That was a classic half volley. What a well-controlled half volley, and he still nearly lost the point. Great wheels he has.
His first 2 or 3 steps are so dynamic. Yeah, Tristan, excuse me, won the challenges in Campinas at the tail end of the year, as well as Montevideo. Not quite back-to-back, but he piled on a whole bunch of points at the end of the season, made the finals of the Las Vegas Challenger. That was indeed on a hard court, Fitzy. Lost to Lerner Cain. Tested early on here, no surprises.
13-14.
A man with the best returning numbers across all surfaces in 2024. Almost 3%. And I can tell you that de Minaur converted on just over 45% of the break points that he faced last year.
Well, that's impressive. 2 good points coming forward and using his volley with a lot of feel there. He looks like a player that's played on clay. They drop shot a lot on that surface when they come to, or drop volley a lot when they come to the net on that surface. Good control.
Oh, good dynamic movement as well. He has the technique. That'll help grow the confidence.
Advantage.
Well, I think Alex there made a mistake moving forward. He was committed to going across court. He'd already started his swing pattern here, so he leaves the court wide open here. He has to cover one way or the other. I think pushing it down the line is the higher percentage play. So I think Boyer gets away with one there. He needs to be careful with that drop shot. I like the fact that he's using variety, but de Minaur is quick. Well played.
Yeah, no kidding. A couple of forays forward. Successful
First game.
in all 3. Mention the fact that he had a stellar Challenger season. And the winningest American in 20 years at the Challenger level. He had 44 wins. And Dave, we know how tough the Challenger level is. You've got to be able to play these days. The depth in the men's game it's jaw-dropping, actually.
Well, Dave Taylor knows what it's like to come through those Challenger levels and build a player's confidence.
Let's have a look at the first service game of Alex de Minaur.
I think that's where he's most lethal.
15.
During the rest, the first time we've seen him venture forward here, Minaur, but especially when his opposition is so far back and he can take the ball inside the baseline, he's coming in with that forehand. He started pretty well, Dave, hasn't he, Tristan?
Look, he's doing really well. Baptism of fire for him, isn't it? He's really up against it. Alex is moving incredibly well forward, but I think he's done well coming to the net, trying to finish in points. He's not going to hang back. I think he's on the right track with that tactic.
My maths isn't great, Fitzy, but he's coming to the net 4 times, and he's won with 4 points.
That couldn't have been that hard. How's your geometry? Is that any better?
Oh, stop it. No. I'll leave that to my daughter. She's the mathematician in the family. Young Gracie, who you got to meet in Perth earlier this year.
Way too good to be your daughter. How did that happen?
Don't bring the mood down now.
Okay.
That's the sneaky shot of Minaur. That little bunt backhand down the line. You can't see it coming. He takes it early.
I'm impressed with Boyer so far. He's showing no signs of intimidation or nerves, is he? He'd be forgiven for doing so. Good depth. Depth of shot won in that point.
Alejandro Fabri is his coach. He's coached a lot of good players. That is Alejandro. Such an improved area. One of the most improved shots for Minaur. We know he's always going to be one of the top returners, but the improvement in the serve from 2023 to 2024 is impressive.
Advantage point.
Good start now from the American. Wow.
I'll tell you what, Tristan Boyer, he's up for this. You mentioned his thighs. He's holding that cord and letting some rip early. Not intimidated at all.
It's not easy, folks. You've got to have a good mind, Fitzy.
Yeah.
Such a big stage. You've got to back yourself.
Well, there's a lot of belief needed in this sport at the highest level. And, yeah, he looks like he possesses some self-belief. Good start. Couldn't have had a better one, in fact.
I also do wonder when you've had something as this catastrophic as what's happened back at home, if that doesn't give you more of a purpose to play for something, Fitzy, given all the fires that are happening back in and around where he lives in Altadena in California.
Robbie, I don't think it hurts any of us to be subtly reminded at times how life can change in an instant. And I think we have such a privilege in this sport and others to play sport for a living. Yep. Are you kidding me? Yep. And there's more serious things at foot, isn't there? We've all got friends in LA and the surrounding areas, and we're thinking of those people. Absolutely.
Yeah, well said, Fitzy.
Problem against a good player, though, a player this good, and I use that term very modestly in Alex de Minaur's case, because he's a very, very good player. If you drop off the podium a little bit with your standard just for a few moments, you can get into trouble quickly. Look at, there's that return you talk about. World class. Not a bad deep serve, but de Minaur hammers it at the ankles of Tristan Boyer.
Well, it's probably a good time just to remind ourselves how good the returning prowess of the Demon is. This was in his opening match against Botic van der Zandskop, and it's not only the depth of the balls, but the yellow balls are the first serves. Look how many of those are within about a meter of the baseline, and so often finding Botic's backhand.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a safer return, isn't it? Particularly from the second court, but also from the first. A lot of players like to drag from the first court down the line off the backhand. It's a bit safer. You have more control, and he certainly does that a lot, Alex. He knows where the racket face is, so he presents a full racket face, gives a lot of, square inches of the racket face to allow it to make contact with the ball. So he's got a higher percentage success rate, and yeah, a lot of his balls are flat and they go deep, and that sets him up for the rally.
In the returning department ahead of Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner across all surfaces.
Yeah, guys, you can just see the coaching team here instructing Alex to serve a little bit to the body more.
Okay. You have to do more than that. As time goes on here, Robbie, we're going to find out what's inside the head of Coach Taylor. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, no.
All of those years watching and mentoring young players, Dave, it's so good to have your knowledge, and you'll be able to see how this match unfolds down there at the court level. It's just the best place to watch.
Let's versus.
Good depth of his own there from Boyer. I'm thinking about that approach shot on the previous point. These days it is difficult to chip and charge. So that old terminology we used as young players, Robbie, it used to win more than its fair share of points. But these days, if you don't put something on that approach shot, these ground strokes and modern technology allow passing shots of a higher standard. Tough to win when you chip the ball and go in. great depth.
15-13.
I believe it's been the chip and charge has been replaced by the crush and rush.
Exactly.
Did you get licensing for that phrase? Because I believe that Brad Stein owns it, so I'm told.
That's where I heard it.
Dave, I'm taking that off Brad Stein. And I'm going to handball it to Robbie Koenig because I think he's going to put a hardcover book together of the R. Koenig sayings in tennis.
Stein will
I'm
want a
going to
piece.
give you that one.
Okay.
Crush and rush.
So a good friend who commentates with us, Brad Stein, also the coach of Tommy Paul, also actually a Californian, but not in the LA area. He's from Fresno.
Game.
A couple of good hits, but those were long. Just like that, Minaur is back on track. He's got incredible ability. If it's just to
2 games now.
forget about what's happened on the previous point or the previous game and crack on with it.
Yeah, he's very good at that. He puts his disappointment behind him very quickly, compartmentalizes it and moves on.
I'm curious to hear from you, Dave. In all of the things you teach, I think that stacks right up there as one of the most powerful things you can have mentally, the ability to compartmentalize. But how do you go about teaching that to a player? That's my question to you.
Yeah, Robbie, just having a short memory, I think, really helps. The ability to move on, and it's a big part of being a top player, isn't it?
But can you train that, Dave? I guess that's my question. Are you on your player's case about it when they're practicing?
Yeah, I'm absolutely of the firm belief they have to be thinking about an actual physical action. You know, serve wide, expect a certain shot. Give them something like that to focus on.
I like that physical action.
So you don't only have to be a coach, you have to be a sports psychologist as well.
Yes, unfortunately.
Of course, that man there, Alejandro Fabri, has coached the likes of Diego Schwartzman, Leonardo Maya, Hugo Delian as well. He's got lots of experience. More firepower off the ground, but you've always got to keep that in mind. If we have a quick look at the respective speeds of the ground strokes, he's got a much shorter swing as Minaur. Boya's average forehand speed, the one you saw there, 130 kilometers an hour. Minaur's just 111. Backhand is a big differential, but here's a but, Fitzy. You've got to take one thing into mind that's so important. That's how early Minaur takes the ball. Doesn't need to hit it hard, does he?
Well, he quite often runs through the ball too, especially on the forehand wing. If he sees a ball that drops a bit short, he'll take 2-3 steps towards the ball before he makes contact. And so he's got all this body momentum moving forward. That creates power as well. He's a flat hitter of the ball. Not a lot of cover compared to some of the modern players. That's too good. Tristan Boyer is serving a lot of balls to the body here in the early stages. I'm sure that's something, I would imagine it's something they've talked about. And he's not giving Minaur much scope to get a lot of forward speed on his return. So he's not being hurt by the first one too much so far. The first return I'm talking about from Minaur's racket.
a little bit of adversity early on, but that has
Leads by 3 games.
quickly been addressed by the Aussie #1. And he leads by a break now, 3-2.
As quick as you can, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Starting to use the whole court now, isn't he, de Minaur? So from being 2-love down, he's broken twice in a row, and he's getting some momentum going here.
Dirty love.
Thy name is de Minaur. I mean, how good is this? Everything. Early power, athleticism, feel.
Cain, de Minaur.
Tell you what, he didn't like going down a break early on, did he?
It's like,
De Minaur leads by 4 games.
it's like vengeance, isn't it? 4 in a row. Tristan hasn't played poorly here. He's rallied well, but just lost the points at the end. He's got some extra dimension, de Minaur. That's why he's top 10. Number 8 in the world, this young man. Not bad. What is there, Robbie? 100 million plus tennis players?
Mm-hmm.
Number 8.
If you finish inside the top 150 in singles, you make the player pension. And of course, the contributions have got significantly greater the last couple of years. The ATP has done a very good job in putting a lot of money into the ATP pension, and they're finishing 136 in the rankings. Tristan should qualify. There might be a criteria for tour events though. I don't know if it if it's only challenges. But I just saw today the player pension, each player would get 121,000 US dollars into their pot. And it's the same for all 150 singles and top 50 doubles players.
Clever. Fabulous second shot, but how clever was the first? To step to his left.
15-13.
Boyer still persevering, serving at the body. The first return was just beautiful. He guided it with absolutely deliberately.
And we showed you that, how well he can get the ball to the backhand corner of a righty, didn't we, earlier on in his match against Botic van der Zandschulp.
Another body surf. De Minaur needs to be wary of that.
Bit of a pattern emerging here where Boyer's using his backhand through the middle of the court and line so he gets time to hit that forehand, really looking to forehand and doesn't want to be pinned in that backhand corner.
He's made a few forehand errors recently here, and maybe that's part of the mindset, David, to go after the forehand. It's in his mind that he wants to hurt or use that more, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
He's made 10 unforced errors, Fitzy, and as you suggested, 7 have come from that forehand side.
Alex wants him hitting backhands from the backhand corner. Boyer wants to be hitting forehands from there.
It is an interesting backhand. I mean, the technique of it is just a little different than most. But he knows where the racket face is.
I almost equate it to, players who have that low ball toss, and it's very difficult to see. And I think his backhand's like that. It's a shorter swing. The disguise on it is magnificent.
So flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
So to get it down the line over the high part of the net takes creativity. Excellent. Well, the ground strokes of De Minaur have stopped Boyer getting to the net. He showed signs in the first couple of games that he was prepared to come in a lot, but he hasn't been in there much. Pinned down, I think. But an excellent point there, acknowledged by Alex.
Love that about De Minaur. He's not looking to hit a passing shot there, is he?
No, he knows that he'll get a shot at the next one. When he hits a low, slow one, as you say,
Yeah.
he knows he's going to get the next hit anyway.
And those are the toughest to volley. Certainly for me it was the case. You've got to be so creative, haven't you? And the guy's fast on the other side. It's a nightmare. Another chance to break. ticket to the party. The Aussies are pumped. The Demon is giving them plenty to shout about. 5 on the bounce.
Ready for play. Thank you.
Serving for the set with new balls.
15.
All of de Minaur's shots tend to be deep, don't they? Partly through skill, but he hits the ball so flat.
30 love.
And even the serves here, opening with the new balls, they land deep and they skid with the new balls. It makes it awkward. Yeah, he's gaining momentum here.
40 love.
New balls help in these conditions. Sunlight fast. They travel through the air a little bit quicker.
Well, it's pedal to the metal. After being down 2-love, de Minaur, well, that's enough. Let me show you who's in charge here. And he does it by winning a set 6-2. Yes, it is quick. Wow, did he up his game quickly? The numbers would suggest just that. Always the highlighted ones tend to be the better, except maybe the distance run. Always put a little asterisk alongside that one.
Yeah, it was a subdued start. I thought Tristan started well, and he came out with no nerves really, or a limited number of nerves. But that was the approach shot we talked about. That's just so hard to win the point with because the passing shots are so good these days. But Alex did find his range as time went on. Started playing his natural game, which is a tendency to move forward as well as win points from the back of the court. He's good at the moment. Tristan Boy needs to put the foot down here himself. He's getting a bit of advice at the moment from his corner, but he has to make his own mark early in the second set or things could disappear fast. A hold of serve would help at the start for Tristan Boyer here.
Second set. Boyer to serve.
An unmistakable voice of the chair umpire, James Keothavong. Set number 2. It's a well-measured smash. Coach liked it.
30 love.
Looking into the sun from that end. 2:20 local time here in Melbourne. The sun is out in all its glory. A little cooler today, but things will start heating up even more so now.
Yeah, Robbie significantly warmer than when they started down on court here now.
Yeah, it'll make the ball move quicker through the air, I'm sure. I did the science experiment at school with all 3 of my kids, where you've got to show the effect of heat and cold on objects, and we always do the tennis ball bounce. We leave it in the freezer overnight and drop it from an exact height, and then you measure how high the cold ball bounces, and then you do it with the warm ball that's been in the sun, and of course it bounces much higher. It's got more energy in it. The warmer ball, warmer conditions out here will make the ball bounce higher.
Had no idea you were a ball expert.
40-30.
You are full of surprises. That's the play he likes, isn't it? He likes to open up the court to the right-hander's forehand wing. And when he's out of court, take the next one early, down the line and come in. Stock standard play, a la
Stefan Edberg.
And Leighton Hewitt. I saw Leighton do that for a decade.
Yeah, also quite a flat forehand. Flat on both groundies, wasn't he?
And doesn't necessarily need to be hit hard like you touched on earlier. If you take the ball early, you get the ball down that line quickly and use your speed for the next volley.
And you mentioned about Alex's depth, especially off that flat backhand, very similar to Leighton in that manner as well, and doing a lot of that today.
Tell you what he does do, he goes down the line more off the backhand than Leighton Hewitt did. Leighton would do it in practice,
yes,
but he'd lock in across court in matches so often. He needs to hold this one, Tristan. This is a dangerous game for me.
Juice.
It's the coach's pod right there, alongside the court. You know, to talk to your player. Alejandro Fabri, the coach of Boya. Just otherworldly, the movement. Nuclear athleticism.
If you're playing against this, you start to worry about, okay, how well do I have to play to win a point? Because Tristan Boyer played a very good point there. he stepped it up, the pace, he was hitting it harder. De Minaur counter punches until he's got a chance to knock it off. Awesome.
Let's for service.
It's an important break point, Robbie, isn't it? Oh, seriously good volley, though. Bit of class there from Tristan Boyer.
Absolutely, and you've got to applaud him, given what happened on the previous point, that he still had the guts to come in, back himself. Oh, nice technique, got the big lunge in with the right leg on the backhand. Went to meet the ball like Fitzy used to do so often.
Let's for service. Advantage, Boyer. Juice.
Yeah, Tristan Boyer using the coaching service here almost every point this game.
Of course, he comes from a college background as well, Dave, so he'd be used to interaction regularly with a coach. Went to Stanford University. One of the top players there.
Well, the reality here is that even though this has been closely contested, each game, De Minaur's on the brink of winning 7 in a row. And that's quite sobering if you're down the other end.
When he gets his
First game.
teeth stuck in, he does not let go.
Yeah, that was a big game for me. I mean, that hurts Tristan, that one. Because now I think it hurts his mentality a little bit. He threw everything he could. He showed a lot of guts there in that game. Played well. But he just got pipped at the post again. And now he tried to up it, didn't he, at the end of the game? Hit the ball a bit harder. Went for a few outright forehand winners. And he needs to, by the way, I think. To put the ball away. Well, I know. I mean, he has to. He has to go after it. And then there's a fine line between making it and making an error. So he treads that fine line right now. Already a break for De Minaur.
15 love.
You can see De Minaur's first serve speed average last season, 194. Today, he's up that nicely. It's 13 kilometers an hour. Oh,
ridiculous.
How was that view?
Right in front of me. That's absolute pleasure to watch. Wow.
That backhand down the line is good, isn't it? It's unorthodox. It's hit with, in a way, some sort of strange technique, but boy, is it accurate, and it hurts people because it takes them out of court.
Cain.
He's gaining momentum, Dave, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a really valid point you made there, Fitzy, with the backhand through the line. As I said earlier, Tristan Boyer really wants to hit some inside-out forehands, but Alex is really camped up on the baseline, and he just can't play the way he wants to play because Alex can just slip it up the line there anytime he wants.
Yep.
Really off balance.
This has been an incredible passage of play. 8 games on the bounce now for the Aussie #1.
Ready for play.
There he is again, pressing with the forehand. Now, I think he has to, he's got to do something a bit different. I think he has to press with that forehand. That seems like it's his favourite go-to shot, but he's walking a fine line. You risk more, you miss more. Now he's a bit lost. And you can understand, young player, a very, very good one, by the way.
Yeah, getting demonstrably frustrated now, looking at his box, looking for answers.
Yes, sir. Gee, things could have gone wrong with that. He was good enough to do it. How's Alex de Minaur keeping himself in that point, though? I mean, a really good serve, an amazing return off that serve, and then he scrambles that one back as well, which was difficult. Yeah. So he doesn't want to rally as much now, and I can understand why. It makes good sense for him to take the first ball if he can and try to penetrate with it. I think from his point of view, smart play.
Cain, Boyer.
Well done.
Puts an end
Minaur leads by
to
2 games to 1.
loss of 8 games in a row, but he still trails by a set in the break. Boys are well coordinated. No doubt who they support. Because when I see those that red little horns of the demon, which makes me think of the Young Brothers from AC/DC.
Angus Young.
Yeah, always used to wear that as well, didn't he?
Are you an Akadaka fan?
Oh,
come on.
Trick question.
It,
Love them.
that makes you an honorary Aussie. Do you know that?
Oh, I'll take it. What a band. Definitely top 5, maybe even a top 4 seeding.
I want to find out who the other 3 are.
Demon with a break.
Cain love.
The Rolling Stones would be top seed for me. They're not bad. Had some good songs back in the day.
I've heard of them.
Dirty love.
He's winning his service games easily. You know, it is interesting. The scoring system in tennis is a crazy thing. He's winning all of his serves quickly, easily. And his opponent today, Tristan Boyer, has been struggling. And when he's won his games, they've been pretty close. So the points are one-sided in total at the moment. I can't remember when he lost a point on his serve. It's several games ago, maybe 4 games.
40 love.
And the baseline points won are heavily in favour of the Demon. We'll show you hopefully after this one.
That's why, Robbie, that's why Tristan is trying to take the first ball now early so that he avoids those rallies. He's losing most of them. And he needs to go forward and keep the points shorter.
Second service.
But it's much harder to do on his opponent's serve than on his own.
Cain, Minaur.
Well, I'll verbal those baseline points, folks. In this set, out of the 10 they've
Minaur
played,
leads by 3 games to 1.
Boyer's only 1-1. It's been slim pickings. Started so brightly. If you're joining us for the first time today, got the early break, was up 2-love, was Boyer, and then Minaur turned things around quickly, rapidly,
That's for service.
and for a while that wasn't like Boyer's level dropped off. Minaur was just gluing returns to the baseline, intelligent passing shots, winners from the back of the court, just bullying Boyer.
Cain love.
He doesn't bully you with haymakers, though. It's just death by 1,000 jabs, isn't it, when you play against the Demon?
Or 100 punches in the face. I think more body.
Oh, that would have been naughty. Very naughty if you had made that. He gave the no look there, didn't he?
It's a great point, guys. Alex obviously not of a huge stature, but he's so intimidating physically because of his speed and his footwork.
There's a couple of guys that I would like to see have a foot race, Dave. Just short sprints. I'd like to put Demon up against Alcaraz and Monfils. Those three guys.
It's amazing. Even the sliding ability of Alex is incredible. He uses his back foot as a rudder.
Yep.
Game, Boya.
That's more like it. Steady the ship nicely.
Minaur leads by 3 games to 2.
It's 3-2 second set. A little breezier today, and it's a little cooler, so it's the best of both worlds. The fact that the sun is out, well, that's a bonus. The weather's been pretty good for the most part. This is day 5 of our live coverage. 2 of them were perfect. Today is starting to follow in that mold. Things perfect so far for Alex de Minaur. Strings to his bow.
Hitting
His net points 1 has been very healthy. 7 of 11.
Well, he has beefed up his serve a little bit in recent times, but it's just the way he puts his service games together. I mean, he's on a roll here on his own serve, so confident. What he brings behind the serve as well.
Love. Out.
Great return there, continuing with the aggressive mindset, I think, and I think he has to. But not many points next to his name on the de Minaur serve in recent times.
Let's for service. Cain, Minaur.
Nicely done. There he is. Serving so accurately at the moment. That slider. Working a treat. Such good ground reaction force. You can see how the upper body stays quite upright when he makes contact with the ball.
Dave, have you noticed an improvement in his serve, or have you seen him enough recently to maybe give an opinion on that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The first serve especially, it's increased in power a lot. The sound off his racket, yeah, definitely hitting it faster than he had in previous years.
Let's for service.
Yeah, and Dave, just to put that into perspective, in the 2023 season, he finished 67th in the serve rating. Last year, 57th. That's a big uptick on the serving statistics.
Yeah, not easy to find those gains later in your career. He's doing well.
15 love.
And then when you narrow it down to hard courts only, it's even more of an uptick from 65th to 47th on this surface from 2023 to 24. Tough to defend shot making like that.
30 love.
Yeah, I think Alex de Minaur is going to be one of those players that when he retires, there won't be many regrets.
No, his head will rest peacefully on the pillow.
love. Cain,
That's a nice strong hold. Reduces their arrears. It's 4-3.
Minaur leads by 4 games to 3.
As they like to say, down under, what a ripper of a day. What a ripper of a day around Rod Laver Arena.
Dave, I think he's trying to get a visa, or a permanent visa. Maybe he's trying to get a passport.
Fitzy, you might be on the selection panel.
Brilliant.
Give him a big reference.
As long as I'm on with you, I'll go on it.
Thank you.
He steadied the ship at least. Tristan Boyer, not leaking the same amount of games as he was earlier. There's a legend. One Tony Roach here watching someone he's pretty close to, Alex de Minaur. French Open champion. Won 5 Wimbledon doubles titles with John Newcombe. Great to have him at the Open.
answered that magnificently.
Gee, he's just steamrolling his service games. There's not a lot Tristan can do here to make any sort of inroads.
$40-15. Okay, Minaur. New balls, please.
Apart from being broken in his opening service game,
Minaur leads by
tell you
5
what they're
games.
after. That serve has been the foundation of his game. And of course, when Demon serves as well as he has been, we know he's going to return well. That's an absolute given. He's going to be a nightmare to play against.
Oh, yeah. Little interesting fact there. Both players went to the side of the court to change to a new restring, which will be a fraction, just a fraction tighter than the one they were using, as it will loosen off a little bit after 9 games. They've played 7 and 9, a total of 16 games. Time for new balls, time for a new restring.
Hitting love.
Just struggle to make inroads from the back of the court.
Well, as good as he is, you know, he's a work in progress.
Yep.
Young player. This is a big experience for him.
It's the ultimate feedback, though, isn't it?
Well, it is. Well said. It absolutely is the ultimate feedback to come into a stadium like this against a world-class player and find out about yourself. Know where your game's at. He's got a good game.
Mm-hmm. Certainly has.
But he's being out-hit from the back of the court by someone who's done it longer and better. But it doesn't mean he can't, and he will keep improving, by the way, and that's the journey.
40-15.
And importantly, he's really staying positive down here. You're constantly looking at his coach, a lot of fist pumps back and forward to each other. It's fantastic to see. He's really up against it, but
Yep.
he's still giving himself a chance here. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree, Dave. You want to see that in a young player. Good for him. Shows character. They're the type of guys you want to work with.
What a pleasure.
Yeah, you don't want to work with a guy who's entitled and wants to win without working.
Yeah, he's done well here.
Yeah, this kid's good.
5-4.
Minaur leads by 5 games.
beautiful as the Yarra River look today. I have a close affinity with water. Grew up alongside the beach, love the lakes and the rivers. And then you intertwine that with this magnificent sporting precinct and you get one of the great annual sporting events and you get to call it home.
I do. It's not a bad place to call home, by the way. Your home is Durban, South Africa. Do you surf out there with those large, prehistoric things with big teeth?
I'm chicken, man. Those things are a lot bigger than me, Fitzy.
You'd be a tasty morsel.
Yeah.
He just can't make inroads, can he, on the Minaur serve, and he's not getting served off the court. It's just the backup. Receiving serve in this situation puts him behind the 8 ball more than when he's serving. He can attack a bit more after his own serve, but it's tough to make inroads here. Court awareness, peripheral vision. He knows where his opponent is and he knows where he stands in the court and when the right time is to hit this shot. Maybe got a little bit of luck there, but his court awareness there was perfect.
That serve has been devastating. It's not the quickest, but it is accurate and it's adorned with all manner of spin. Nice way to bring up 3 set points.
When he tries to hit that one with angle, he doesn't possess a ton of topspin on that forehand wing, so he's got to flirt with the net cord there a little bit to make that angle.
Another set of tennis that has been simply stunning. So much variety. He takes it 2 sets. Talavli wins the second 6-4. What numbers jump out at you there?
Well, the 92, I think, to start with, and the winners.
And the unforced errors.
Well, yeah, when you have more winners and unforced errors and then your opponent has the opposite, it tells you, gives you a pretty good indication of who's winning the set. But the first point percentage of wins was pretty impressive, wasn't it? When he gets that first serve into play.
Because we know he's going to be a nightmare when it comes to returning.
He's always fun to watch, Alex, because of his, mainly for me, because of his foot speed.
Yep.
He creates excitement because of how well he moves on a tennis court. That's his stock standard play right there.
It's a bit like my drive, just fades it somewhat. Doesn't hit it particularly hard, but it's accurate.
I thought you had a perfect right to left on your golf drive.
Oh, I wish.
There's Rochi. He's seen this a lot of times before. Is he on the camera? Was he looking at himself there, Rochi? No, he's too modest. So good to have him here. He has some knowledge. And this would be the type of character I bet he would love to work with, Tony Roach. Davis Cup coach. Dave, where do you sit with players leaving the court between sets?
Yeah, it's become all a bit too regular, in my opinion. It just seems, you know, they should be pretty prepared to come in for the match, and they didn't used to do it in previous years, and I'm sure bladder sizes are still the same. So, I'm not a fan.
Well, the game's evolving. You don't think that size is evolving?
Maybe they shouldn't be shrinking, should they? Yeah.
No, look, I don't like it. I mean, I don't hold it against a young lad like this. He hasn't experienced best of 5 more than once before, so he'll be getting used to it, but there's far too much of it for me.
Yeah, I think also they've done so much to speed the game up and make it continuous, and it really goes against that.
Well, there's a reason here at the Australian Open the day session is only 2 matches now. It used to be 3. Why is that? Because matches take longer. I mean, this has only taken 1 hour and 19 minutes. And now we're waiting for another, what, 7 minutes or whatever it is?
No, I agree with you there, guys, yep.
The G. What a crowd. Of course, my good friends who's visiting Melbourne at the moment. He played some cricket there back in the day. The wonderful Kenny McEwen and his wife Di of visiting Melbourne Park. They took a tour around there. Kenny used to play there in the 80s. I think he played for Western Australia, did Kenny McEwen.
Ah. Did he,
what a fine batsman he was.
Did he play for South Africa?
He did.
Okay, I apologise, Kenny. I've followed the Aussie cricket team a little more. Mike Hazeman.
Oh, don't bring the mood down.
Mike Hazeman is my man.
Spends a lot of time in LA, does Mike?
From my home state.
Yep.
South Australia, moved to South Africa for a long time, didn't he? Married Miss South Africa, Leanne.
Wow.
Yeah. I always told Hazy she was way too good for him.
Good on you. Great shot of the proximity of Melbourne Park to the CBD. It's just a short walk, 10 minutes. A couple of great coffee shops along the way as well, if you like a good cup of Java.
Aren't you a tea man?
I am. 2 teas a day, 1 coffee. Always in that ratio.
You sound like George Thorogood in one of his songs. It's not tea and coffee he's talking about, though. It's something a bit stronger.
Just behave.
See, with all due respect to a young player, and he is, and I have no real problem because it's his first time out here learning, but for the good of the game, we need to make matches go faster, quicker. So there's... I mean, players get cold. I mean, Alex is just waiting around. He's walking around at the back of the court. It's
really quite an extended break now, isn't it?
Oh, it's terrible day for me. The guys that make the rules here need to change them, please.
Alex looks, a little bit frustrated, to be honest.
I'll tell you what, it's given the fans a time just to decompress a little bit, reset, get in the mood. DJ just slowed things down as well, somewhat.
Time.
Okay, I think we're just about good to go. Tristan Boyer certainly is. He's had a full change of kit.
Third set.
Body language is still good, even though he's down 2 sets to love. Let's see how this 3rd set shakes out.
Thank you. Players are ready. Hitting love. 30 love.
Oh, so we're going to have another delay now because the lace is broken on the shoe. That comes from the player sliding.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Boyer's laces are broken, so he's allowed reasonable time to change his shoe.
Yeah, so that happens. And when you move this quickly and you stretch and slide, yeah, you'll break the laces. But what this does is accentuate the previous break they've just had for about 8 minutes. So
Thank you. Sorry.
it all adds up. But he's did his best to do it quickly. Good for him. Good on him. It's not his fault. It's the fact, I think, that the rules allow the players, and a lot of them do it. They allow these rules. Anyway, let's move on. Gee, I love that shot. Bit of a dying art, that one. Reminds me of Adriano Panetta.
That's where he broke his laces when he landed. Just snapped them. Most of the damage actually gets done when the player is sliding on the hard court. And that rudder leg ends up dragging oh so low. The laces rubs against the court.
Good reactions there. Well played. What I like is that this young player is keen to learn. He's persevering here, and the more time he spends out here, the better he's going to be. What did you call it? Learning by, or no better learning place to be.
Yeah, you just get great feedback, don't you?
Yeah.
It was Billie Jean King that said it's not failure, it's feedback. Undefeated at the Australian Open after taking the opening 2 sets. It's a good omen.
Wonderful. Well, that type of play warms my heart. I love that visually. Taking a player out of court a little bit, opening up the backhand side of the court to approach with your forehand, and then just beautifully putting the volley away.
Fitzgibbs minus the mullet.
Dirty love.
I think David's referring to my lack of hirsuteness on top of my head these days. How many times have we seen 40 love on Minaur serve in the last hour?
his serving numbers have been unbelievable. He's only lost 4 points in the entirety of this match behind the first serve.
1 game on.
Yeah, I get the impression down here that he's really going after that first serve, even though his numbers are a little low. He's really working on that, possibly for future time in the tournament. Really aggressive on his first serve.
What do you mean his numbers are low?
Just the first serve percentage. He's really still going for it.
Yeah. 58% for the match. Minaur.
But obviously the win percentage is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, huge. 86.
Dangerous. That's structuring the point the wrong way for me. And that is a dangerous thing to do. Just hit your forehand across court, run in against someone of this caliber who can just run to his forehand. That's an easy put away. But I like the fact that he's trying to move forward. He's trying to do something different. And in that case, all power to him.
He is just oozing quality from all areas of his game. It has been such a well-rounded performance.
And I think we've all been in the position, Robbie, that, you know, some days you go out there and you play someone who's just probably better, full stop, but better on the day as well. And you have to learn from this and get better yourself to compete. So it's a tough school here. This is one of the best players in the world. And Alex is playing well as on top of that.
Yeah, you're right. Double whammy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Love watching.
He's just at you all the time. No reprieve. 3 more break points.
Hitting 14.
Watching Alex courtside, he's just constantly holding himself to such a high standard. You know, he's in control of the match, but just constantly egging himself on to do more.
Once again, little fist pump from Boyer. Cannot fault his body language, and that's going to hold him in good stead going forward. You know, I love that saying that your attitude determines your altitude. And whatever you do, and his has been outstanding, despite the fact that he's 2 sets to love down. So tough, this guy. And he's got the break in the third. Good at keeping the ball below the height of the net. concludes as you walk into this magnificent tennis venue. Excuse me, I've got my geography wrong there. That's the other entrance from the side of Amy Arena.
Wait, please.
Dave, have you seen any indication? I mean, 5 sets for the first time, and the young man learning his craft. He's now hitting his thighs, indicating maybe his legs are a bit sluggish now. Is he become half a step slower?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, playing someone like Alex with the foot speed he has, yeah, I think he's definitely feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, 5 sets is a different beast, isn't it, than playing best of 3.
Yeah, but he's really motivated and trying and definitely trying to stay positive all the time. It is great to see. There he is jumping around.
Cain, Minaur.
He's just like a freight train at the moment.
Minaur leads by 3 games to 1.
Rolling stock.
It's almost like your favorite band.
Yes. The Stones.
The Rolling Stone. Yeah, he's been so confident and competent on his own serve, hasn't he? He's barely losing points.
Love the team.
He's starting to miss by a greater distance now is Tristan occasionally, and I think that's got to do with movement. If you're not quite as balanced or in position, and that for me is, it's logical that he would be like that after a 5-setter, trying to recover, getting used to that experience. Not quite getting to the ball as well now as he was earlier.
Also got to remember that Boyer came through qualifying. Played really well, took care of Chris Eubanks, fellow American, final round of qualies. The Minaur effect. You can see the movement out of the corner of your eye.
15, that's it.
Suddenly you feel like you have to hit this half volley perfectly. And you just get the feel wrong. And look at the slide out of the corner. And then so quick out to chase down the drop shot. And the dynamic balance, strength, beautiful. There's been no lets up, none whatsoever. Broken in his opening service game, and since that moment he has flipped the switch and has been in charge of proceedings.
If he's going to approach to the to the backhand wing, the depth helps, doesn't it?
Deuce.
The deeper he can hit the approach shot when coming in behind it, the harder it is for de Minaur to do something effective with it.
It's got to be nice to the British umpires now, given that he's engaged to one. Not an umpire, but a Brit, of course. Tennis player, of course, is Katie Bolter. One of a couple of players that got engaged during the off-season. So Alexei Poprin, I believe. Felix Auger-Aliassime. It's a small window of opportunity there at the end of the year. You've got to make the most of it, Fitzy.
Deuce.
See the mirage there of the heat starting to rise off the court. Significantly warmer than when they started almost 2 hours ago. Too good.
I love his all-court prowess, though. He's got a lot to build on, I think. Tristan, you know, he's good from the back of the court. I can imagine him winning a lot of matches on that challenger level, like you told us earlier, Robbie. Good competitor, works hard, and he's got an all-court game.
Yeah, he's come in 33 times. It's 120 of them.
And a great change up there on the serve. Well played.
Hangs on in here in the third set, but he's still down 2-3.
Minaur leads by 3 games to 2. Time. Thank you. Enough.
I can tell you that from the start of the second set, when Minaur lands the first serve,
30 love.
he has only lost 1 point since the start of the second set.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That's quite phenomenal. And it continues.
And he only lost
40 love.
3 in the opening set, so 4 points in total behind the first serve.
That's actually pretty shocking, isn't it? It's like it's a shock to sort of have that happen in a match. There's another one. There you go. We're up to 5. But that's the biggest issue, I guess, in retrospect, looking at today's match here for Tristan Boyer. He hasn't been able to make any inroads at all. It's hard enough to hold his own serve, and he's done pretty well at that, but hasn't really had a chance against the Minaur serve.
Cain.
Then you throw in the fact that he's defending the second serve so well. That's why the scoreline looks as one-sided as it does. There's this long-time coach back left of that picture, Adolfo Gutierrez. And Minaur so often makes reference to him about how much he has done for him in his career. It's been a strong opening for Minaur this season. He's played well.
That's good skill from Boyer.
15 love.
I think my gut feel is he's coming in probably more than he normally would, because he knows he's made an assumption that he's not going to win more than his fair share from the back, and he's tried to adapt. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
30 love.
He's only won 18 out of 64 baseline points.
Love. 40 Ding.
There's an air of inevitability, isn't there? As there would be. The crowd senses that they... It's like slow defeat coming, isn't it? But no disrespect to this young man. I've been impressed with him. He's got a good future.
There's a few of them around similar sort of ranking. We've seen Tristan today. We saw Nishesh Basavaredi, who played Novak in the opening round. He's 105. The live ranking now of Tristan Boyer is 112. We've got Lerner Tien. He's still in the mix. Jaime Faria, who played yesterday. We're all around that same ranking mark, 108, 107, 105. We're looking to make a move early on in the season. Joao Fonseca, a little ahead of those guys at 98.
Fonseca and Jakob Mensik are the two that stand out to me the most, but there's some good young players there. Doesn't mean they'll evolve better than the others. But right now there's some X factor in those two. Wow.
Yeah, no kidding.
The new breed, Robbie. It's here.
Yeah, we've got the likes of Jakob Mensik, Jerry Shang, Arthur Feast. He's got some game.
Oh, yes, sir. Well done, young man. That's good stuff.
Boyer.
Good serve. Didn't overserve this wide one. He just set up a forehand, and this time he puts it away. And that will happen more and more as his career goes on, you would think. Well held. So he's hanging in on his third set, Robbie.
Yeah, good stuff.
You balls, miss.
Good attitude. It's 4-3 de Minaur.
De Minaur leads by 4 games to 3. Thank you. Love. Halt. 30 love. Halt. 40 love.
Another 40 love game. What, leading again? It's been a procession on his own serve.
Continues to impress behind his deal. He was very good against Van der Zandschulp in the opening round, and I think he's just notched up to his performance today a decimal point or 3.
I was a bit concerned about that matchup in the first. Van der Zandschulp, he's a dangerous player, but Alex was strong there. I mean, he's hit the ground running in the early rounds. He's going to be able to rest again after a 3-setter. He's got himself into a good position. Have you studied his draw?
Diaz Acosta or Cerundolo?
Well, I think on paper he's favourite there.
Love 15.
No guarantees, ever. But he's not in a bad place, is he? He's got some pretty tough ones in his quarter-final, though.
Yeah, that would be Jannik Sinner, if they both get there. He's not bad, that guy.
Have you heard of him? And, of course, he also has to put up with Darren Cain coaching against him as well. That's not easy.
Love 13. Love 14.
Three match points for the Demon.
Thank you.
Minaur masterclass today.
3 sets to love. 6-2, 6-4.
A performance drenched in quality, and it was all areas of his game that shone. Brilliant on serve, brilliant on return. So good in the forecourt. And the athleticism was off the charts. He is safely through to the second round. And he is looking as good as gold. Aussie gold.
Even green and gold. Now, he was good. I mean, you know, a new experience for his opponent, Tristan Boyer. He'll be back. He'll learn from this. That'll be, you know, even though you lose, there's Katie Boulder. She's pretty happy. She's inside, getting ready. But Tristan will be back. He'll learn from this. What a great experience for him. A great experience to come from nowhere to play in a main draw of a Grand Slam at the Australian Open. He goes on to Rod Laver Arena, of all places, and has the best learning curve of his life. He will be much better for it. Good for him. We wish him well. But this man moves forward. And he's in pretty good shape, I think. You know, when you win easily in the first couple of rounds, Robbie, surely that stands you in good stead for the latter rounds. It saves you, saves your legs, saves your body.
Yeah, no question about that, Fitzy. Looking to make some deep runs at the majors this season. Never been to the semi-finals of a major. We thought he was looking so good at SW19 last year. He was up against Novak in the quarters there, but of course injured himself on match point against Arthur Feast. But I like the way he's looking here.
Yeah, he's never been to the quarterfinal of this one. The other three, yes, but not this one. 3 times into the 4th round. He's got a chance this year, and he's going to be fresh. Crowd wishing this young man well.
Yeah, and all the people in his area in Altadena in California.
Absolutely.
You're very much in our thoughts and prayers. Well done, Tristan. And I think we can hot-foot it down courtside right now because John Moorman is getting ready to chat with his good mates, Alex de Minaur.
Alex, congratulations. Tristan Boyer is new to the tour. You wouldn't have faced him before. I know you hadn't practiced with him before. How do you go about, you and your team go about preparing for a match like that?
Yeah, look, obviously someone completely new for me to be on the other side of the court again, so it's never easy. He's a dangerous player, plays very aggressive, takes the racket out of your hand, and you know, my team did some scouting for me to let me know a couple things here and there, but ultimately it was about me bringing the best version of myself, and that's what I needed to do, and happy with that.
Now, Alex, I know you're aware of the difficult times that Tristan and his family are going through. With the fires in California, his family have evacuated their house. It must be so difficult for him and the people of California during this time.
Yeah, look, my deepest condolences to everyone of those affected by the fires in California. It's something that you hate to see, you never want to see, and you know, I'm sending lots of love all the way there, and hopefully, you know, these bad times will pass by sooner rather than later.
Now, are you aware of who you're up next? Francisco Cerundolo. Again, you haven't played him before, but he's been on the tour a while. What can you tell the crowd here about that matchup and how we're going to approach it?
I'll be ready for a battle. It's going to be tough. He's a quality opponent, lots of firepower, great forehand. Look, he's taken some big scalps, and hopefully I'm not the next one.
No, we all hope that you're not the next one, mate. Finally, last question. We see a lot of players on their day off, and you'll have one tomorrow, out and about in Melbourne. What does Alex de Minaur do on his days off?
You know it, mate. We find the best coffee shop in town. That's what we do.
Well, speaking of, Iga said the coffee is better in Sydney. What do you have to say to this crowd, this Melbourne crowd, and Iga?
Look, I better keep this amazing crowd on my side. So Look, there's no better place for coffee than Australia. Okay.
Good answer. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Minaur.
And our new MP for Melbourne is Alex Minaur.
Yeah, and the guy that's editing the local newspaper is his interviewer.